Hi there. This is probably the star of my collection. It's certainly the guitar I play the most. It's the guitar that, apart from my Hofner, has been with me the longest. I bought this in 1991. It's a 1975 Gibson Les Paul Custom. I always wanted a black Les Paul Custom. It was just the guitar I identified with the most. I was playing, I think I played an Ibanez at the time. I was into all the sort of 80s super strat kind of things. And I think the best thing I ever did was get hold of this guitar. At the time, I couldn't afford a new Les Paul. They cost an absolute fortune. I found this second hand in a shop in Coventry. It was an absolute dreadful state when I got it. There was no shine on the body whatsoever. It had been very, very well played. It's been even more well played ever since. The nut was a bit of a mess. I've had to have that sorted out. So you actually couldn't play any open strings. The strings that were on it were rusty and really, really quite revolting. But it just screamed to me by me. I plugged it in. I played it against a number of other guitars, including, you know, some very, very expensive, brand new Paul Reed Smiths, etc., that were in the shop at the time. And this just has got something, and I don't really know what it is. It's just occasionally you find something that suits everything about your playing, and this particular guitar suits everything about my playing. And I think it's one of the reasons that I play the way I do is because I have this guitar. So I have lots of other guitars which help to adapt the way I play and give me new sort of ideas and styles and techniques, but quite often what I'll do is I'll come back to this and you know, those new styles and techniques come out on this. You've got two humbuckers. These are the original 1975 T-tops. You've got a three-way switch, so in the downwards position it's the bridge pickup, in the middle it's the bridge and the neck pickup combined, and up it's just the neck pickup. And then volume and tone for the neck pickup, volume and tone for the bridge pickup. The only change I've made to this, and it's something that I would recommend for all Les Pauls, when you turn the volume down on a Les Paul, they sometimes go a little bit muddy, and I've put a treble bleed capacitor, which is it's the smallest capacitor you can get. It's like a sort of 0.001 microfarad capacitor that you put between the input and output of the volume control. And what that does is when you turn the volume down, so if I just play a chord on volume on full, turn the volume down, it brightens up. That's the volume just on. So that's a modification that I actually do to most of my guitars, especially Gibsons, that it does make a massive difference. So other than that, it's completely stock. What's unusual about it is there's it is definitely 1975. I spent quite a long time thinking it was 1970. I took it into Vintage and Rare a while ago to get it valued. And they were convinced it was 1970 as well. All the spec on it is of an older guitar. For example, the bridge pin just goes directly into the wood. On any guitar after 1972, you'd expect it to go into a little brass ferrule that's sunk into the body. This goes straight in, which is a sort of more vintage style. But the machine heads are the Schaller M6 style. I've not seen a Gibson before sort of 1974, I think, with the Schallers on. But the serial number dates it sort of between 1970 or 1972. So it's a little bit of an anomaly, but the pots, which are all original, dated to 75, and when I took out the bridge pickup, very faintly there's a little stamp in the end of the neck, and I can definitely see a 7 and a 5 in there, so you know, my assumption is it is 1975. Either way, it doesn't really make a lot of difference, other than that it would be worth a lot more if it was 1970. It's still worth a fair amount of money now compared to what I paid for it. I actually only paid £700 for it. But I went into the shop, I saw it, and I couldn't leave the shop without it. It's just occasionally you find a guitar that is perfect for you, and this guitar is perfect for me. I just love playing it. So I put down the 50 quid I had in my pocket, and then went away to try and work out how the hell I was going to pay for it. And I spent a few weeks just taking whatever I could afford in every week. And at the time, you know, £700 might well be £7,000 or £70,000. It was, you know, we just didn't have any money at all. I ended up selling pretty much all of my record collection. That's how I got it. So I had to sacrifice quite a lot to get hold of it. But not a day's gone past since that I've regretted having it. It's just something that is, it's a stunning guitar. So let's have a listen to it. And the bridge pickup, it's got quite a aggressive sound. That's just going straight into a Pod Pro. It's on a Marshall JCM 800 setting. I quite often put a tube screamer. I've got an Ibanez TS808 here. Doesn't make a lot of difference to the sound. This is with it off, with it on. All it seems to do for me is just focus the sound a little bit more. But what I love about Les Pauls the most is the neck pickup, playing lead. You know, you've got the Gary Moore note. I could just listen to that sound all day. So I think it makes you play a little bit slower because I love the tone, and I've worked so hard on my vibrato and my tone. I think over the last few years my playing has probably slowed down, and I focus more on the quality of the note that comes out, and I think it's this guitar that's really done that for me. So let's stick a backing track on. I'll jam along with it and you can hear it, and I'll try and play as many different styles as I can. Let's see what comes out. you go. 1975 Les Paul Custom. It's a beautiful guitar. I've played it absolutely loads. I love it. It's just got something really, really special. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at it and listening to it. And you know, if you ever see one in the shop, go and have a go on one, because they are amazing guitars. Thanks very much.